Today, I canceled my RuneScape subscription, and it's not because I don't want to play the game anymore. I want to preface this video by saying, please don't harass individual Jagex employees, especially not anybody from the old school team. On July 1st, 2008, Jagex released RuneScape HD. This was the biggest graphical update RuneScape had ever seen, and I vividly remember logging onto the game that day and being amazed by the way that everything looked.
Oh my god. This is insane.
As you can imagine, a lot of people have nostalgia for these 2008 graphics, including myself. For years, since Old School RuneScape's release in 2013, people have talked about graphical updates to Old School RuneScape. It seems that Jagex was never going to devote resources into such an update, which seems totally reasonable considering the limited resources that Old School has, the fact that it might ruin the Old School feel for some nostalgic players, and just the amount of time and effort that it would take. Of course, as any passionate video game community does, players took things into their own hands. In 2017, a fan project known as OSHD started getting sent out to content creators. I remember watching a friend play on what looked like those sweet 2008 graphics in a custom client, which was soon to be released, and I was super excited to play on this.
Today we're going to be playing some old school RuneScape in high detail.
And just a few days later, after a friend's video, Jagex announced that they would not be adding this client to their list of approved third-party clients. And what this meant is that if any player decided to use this client, they could potentially be permanently banned from the game. And the reasons they cited in their news post on June 12th, 2017 were that the client could trigger their bot detection software and that the creators of OSHD failed to send them their code. And as it turns out, the OSHD team had stolen copyrighted assets from Jagex and used them as their HD textures in their client, and basically just refused to cooperate with Jagex. By January 2020, a player known as 117 started posting updates about his own old school HD project. He was working on a RuneLite plugin, which would be open source, built upon RuneLite's already approved GPU feature, and it would give HD graphics to the game similar to those released in July 2008. So, by all accounts, this avoided the shortcomings of the OSHD project. RuneLite is already an approved client. The code would be open source, so Jagex could examine it as much as they wanted to. It didn't use any stolen assets, and it wouldn't set off bot detection. RuneLite also has a long history of collaborating with Jagex, so anything that would be released on RuneLite would be sure to go through a process where it's vetted by Jagex and made sure that it follows their rules. So it seemed like 117's RuneLite HD project followed all of Jagex's rules, and that we'd soon be able to play old school RuneScape in beautiful 2008 style HD graphics, and I was really excited for this. And I know a ton of other people were as well, because 117's progress posts on Reddit got heavily upvoted, and there was a ton of excitement around them. So throughout the whole development process, 117 was really open about exactly what he was doing, how he was doing it, how it would be implemented into RuneLite as a plugin, all the specifics about everything, and he posted a ton of progress updates. So this project was very public, anticipated, and Jagex never said anything about it at all. So it was assumed that this was just going to be released as any RuneLite plugin was, that it would just go through and be fine, and that Jagex wasn't going to do anything about it. So for over a year and a half, 117 worked tirelessly on this project out of passion.
When it shut down, that's not me and it shut down.
And then on September 7th, 2021, Jagex puts out a news post saying they are telling creators of such clients to stop production because this is a project they are, quote, directly investigating at Jagex. The day before, they had done a stream with a few quick examples of potential ways a future HD old school RuneScape client could look. The thing is, these were just 3D renders of existing assets in Blender, and very obviously not very far along at all. So this is nowhere even close to being done. Let's be real, knowing the speed at which Jagex gets things done, it would be surprising if this was even finished before the start of 2024. And to make this even worse, 117 then let us all know that him and the RuneLite team had planned to already have released the finished Old School HD plugin on September 6th. That's the day before this news post. So, in summary, Jagex let 117 work on this for almost 2 years, making all of us think that this project would be fine with them. In the process, get everyone's hopes up about this awesome HD plugin that had none of the shortcomings of the previous OSHD, only to completely nullify 2 years of work and anticipation. So, as you can imagine, there's riots that began to pop up in World 2 Falador. The 2007 Scape subreddit is filled with angry posts. This is definitely going on the September drama calendar. But for now, I'm going to shift gears a little bit, but I promise this is relevant and this tangent won't take too long, so try and stay with me. In addition to being a RuneScape player, I'm also a competitive Super Smash Bros. Player.
God damn it, Helper, you're such a piece of shit. I hope your fucking family dies.
I mainly play Melee nowadays, but I started playing competitive Smash Bros. With a brawl mod called Project M. This mod took the engine of Brawl, which is the Wii version of Smash Bros., and it made the mechanics like Melee, the previous title, which is the GameCube version, which is widely regarded as a faster and more competitive game. So this mod got hugely popular and was under continuous development until 2015, when the dev team suddenly announced that they're ceasing development. And as it turns out, Nintendo had threatened legal action against the Project M development team. And since then, Nintendo has continuously done everything they can to stop Project M. So they've stopped it from being streamed on Twitch altogether, stopped it from being run at tournaments. So fans of the game are hopeless to do anything about this, since they really have no leverage over Nintendo. If these Project M fans stopped playing Smash Bros. In general, it doesn't hurt Nintendo at all, because the version of the game they play is either the GameCube version or the Wii version, which Nintendo hasn't seen revenue from for years. So because of this, every time Nintendo shuts down a Project M tournament, which, by the way, is still going on, and happened to have happened just like a week and a half ago, but every time that Nintendo shuts down one of these tournaments, the worst thing that happens to them is a little bit of negative PR on Twitter and Reddit, and it doesn't really matter very much to them. But on the other hand, RuneScape players have leverage. In addition to the ability to complain loudly, we have ongoing subscriptions to the game, where we pay $11 a month, and we can vote on potential content. So this is why I canceled my RuneScape subscription today, and am being public about it. I'm not canceling out of anger, or because I'm quitting the game, but because I actually think we have a chance to force the higher-ups at Jagex to reconsider their decision, if we have a big enough impact on their bottom line. At the end of the day, Jagex is a business like any other. Their aim is to make money, and right now, they're shutting down a fan project because, I don't know, they might want to do something similar in the future, and their potential bump in membership purchases following their own HD release, potentially in the future, might be slightly smaller if a good HD plugin already exists. So without any pushback, they lose nothing by shutting this project down. If Jagex gets sufficiently bad PR and a large enough reduction in monthly revenue after this, the higher-ups at Jagex might actually change their mind. After all, they're not really even sure if they want to do their own HD, and if they did, it would take tons of their resources and time. So I really do think that if there's enough pushback, they'll reverse this decision. So personally, I won't be renewing my own subscription until Jagex lets the RuneLite HD plugin get released. And I encourage others who feel passionately about this to do the same thing, and to post your cancellation publicly on Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, and make sure it's known that this is the reason why. If you don't want to cancel though, but you still want to make some kind of impact on their decision, I encourage you to share this video, complain publicly. As silly as it does have an impact. Enough bad PR and the higher ups will be forced to notice. and also to upvote and share other videos, tweets, Reddit posts about this topic. And remember, unlike the Project M community, we actually have leverage here as paying players and Jagex's source of revenue, so let's not let that leverage go to waste. Thank you so much for watching this video. I would really appreciate it if you like the video and share it. It would really help both get the word out and just my channel in general. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day.